I'm going to leave you with a couple things. One of my big drivers, something that I pay attention to, is a quote from Woody Allen. It's in my closet. And it's 80% of success in life is showing up. Do you know this quote? I think you could even drop part of it. I think you could say 80% of life is showing up. Given a choice of going to a party on a Friday night or watching TV, who wins? Going to the party wins for a lot of people, but watching 20 episodes of Law and Order in a row also wins, right? A lot of people don't show up, and one of my discoveries was 80% of success is just getting there to begin with. I'm preaching to the choir today. You're learning today. There's a lot of people that didn't show up, that maybe said they were going to show up. I've been a DJ for 30 years. DJ booth typically sits on top of the dance floor. I watch people come up to the edge of the dance floor, just like this, and you see them going, and they got all the moves, and they're really... But they're not on the dance floor. You're like just beside the dance floor. And it's like, dude, all you have to do is step out onto the dance floor, and you have perfect permission to look like an idiot. But this thing of three guys kind of in unison on the side doing that, that's not good, right? So showing up is a critical factor. If you go to a party, I always say you should always dance. Because if you don't dance, as long as other people are dancing, if you don't dance, what are you going to say on the way home from the party? I should have danced, right? What happens when you dance? Everything happens when you dance, right? Shortest distance between 2 points is what? Is a straight line, yeah? We learned this in like 4th or 5th grade. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Does life work this way? I saw a whole bunch of charts up here that did not look like a straight line. I think up until you're about 20 years old, you're expected to go in a straight line. Right? You're expected to go to elementary school, and then junior high, and then high school, then maybe college or military. There's an expected contiguous line. But then at some point, there's no more line. But I think everyone has in their head that I'm supposed to go in a straight line. Right? I went to college for 5.5 years and never graduated. I was an entrepreneur. I started a bunch of businesses. I ran a bunch of organizations. I did everything at college, but I forgot to go to class. Some minor detail, right? So I had an opportunity to go to Harvard Business School without an undergraduate degree. And I had a chance to get permission from the dean and go. And I was the speaker of my class when we graduated. And I told 100 CEOs that I didn't have a college degree. And they mocked me and laughed. I said, but I'm going to go get my college degree. So I went back and got my transcript. And I thought I only had 4 credits to go. That's how you romanticize life. I had an hour and a half. I had a year and a half left to go. I had an hour and a half, too. I had a year and a half left to go to get my degree. So I stood up and was the graduation speaker for my own graduation after I'd gone to school for a year and a half and graduated when I was 40 years old, right? Now, my line didn't look anything like it was supposed to look. But the reality was it's the way I learned, and I got to the goal. And I think that's the critical factor is you need to get to the goal. Learning is awkward, right? And doing things in this expected line, all of a sudden I'm an executive at a company, I'm working every day, and I'm going to I got braces. It's like, what the hell is going on with Jeff, right? What is happening with this, right? I go out to Burning Man, and I'm wearing my gear that some of you know what Burning Man is. People come up to me, and they're like, dude, what are you doing? I said, I'm loving life. Right? I am so happy right now, right? And this is one of the big challenges. And I'm just suggesting that as a country, this is not going to be a straight line. What does your line look like? Right? Your line just went thump up like this. Now, I don't want to make the noise, but it's going thump and went back down like that. Right? Now it's sitting down here. So what are you going to do about it? Right? It's not a straight line. It doesn't work that way. But you need to make it go thump again. Right? So you got to push this. I'm going to leave you with one last thing. Here, there's an expression, if you coast, you only coast one way. Right? What way is that? Downhill. Right? Who knows if you're coasting? Being the CEO of your own life, if you're coasting, who knows? You. It's awesome. It's one of the few things that the first check is legitimately yourself. You can feel it when you're coasting. You know when you're pushing. And if you're coasting, I always say to my son, you got to push. He says, Dad, he's 20. I just want to be happy. just leave me alone. I just want to be happy. It's like, it doesn't work that way. You can't be happy just because you're standing there. You got to do something you're proud of. You got to do something where you accomplish something. And one of my, I guess, biggest observations when I think about my son is such a good example of coasting and when he gets that result. As a country, I think right now, I'm not suggesting you're coasting, but you have to actually take that act, climb the hill, and I think the perspective will be that it will feel great when you do it. I leave you with one last thought. Don't let anybody tell you how long to take a shower. Especially in this country. You got lots of water here, right? How long do you take a shower? Talk to me. 5 minutes? 20 minutes? Anybody half an hour? Raise your hand if no one's paying attention. How many of you take a half an hour shower, right? Not that many, right? You go to other places around the world, they're taking hour-long showers, right? Right? So what happens when you're in the shower? It feels so good, doesn't it? Right? The hot water's on your head and it's going, and all of a sudden you're just like feeling the song. You're like, Roxanne! You do this? And you're like, wow, that sounded so good. I think I'm going to try it again. I won't. Right? But then you're out talking to your significant other and you're like, I need you to check this. Does this sound good? Right? Because I was thinking of doing a record. And they're like, no. So I'm in the shower. You realize in the shower is the only time you notice there's no soap in the shower is when you're in the shower. Right? And then you have to say, honey, I need a shower. I need a soap, right? So I'm looking at the soap. I've got a little piece of creamy soap and I got a little piece of clear soap. And I decide if I mash these together, you ever do this? I have a real soap if I do that, right? And I'm looking at it and I'm like, the creamy clear soap. It's like, wow, this is a good idea. Like, there's no creamy clear soap on the market. I'm thinking about the grocery store aisle, and I'm thinking, I'm going to invent this soap, right? So I get out of the shower, and I'm drying off. And I can't remember what I was thinking about. I had this huge idea in the shower looking for my idea, and I can't find it. And do you ever do this? I know, I'm a little weird, right? So, are you ever in the shower, and you say, did I wash my hair? You're in the shower, and you're like, I don't remember whether I washed my hair or not, right? So you feel your head to see if it's like squeaky, right? And you're like, I don't know. So you just wash your hair again. You lost like 5 minutes of your life because the entire shampoo process is a big process. There's shampoo going down in front of your face, and it's a big process. What happened to your life? Where did that time go, right? So your mind is solving problems when you're in the shower. You're coming up with ideas. And maybe the creamy clear soap is not an idea. So I tried it. I was like, how do I remember the ideas in the shower? I'm like, I got a genius idea. So I took dry erase markers, and I started writing up above the water line in the shower, right? So my cleaning person comes, and she's like, what happened in the shower? It's like a red and green shit dripping down, right? So you ever drive in your car and you commute home, and all of a sudden you're in your driveway, and you don't remember really leaving your office? You're like, how did I get here? All right, 40-minute commute, you just missed the entire thing, right? So your subconscious is working and it's coming up with ideas. And you're solving problems. You don't realize it, but you solve the problem when you drive, and that is your answer, and then you go off and solve the actual problem, right? Do you dream? Yeah, if I had a little more time, I'd get some dreams. Some dreams are funny, and people just throw them right out there to 500 people, right? But when you dream, I sometimes come up with ideas, and I have a pad next to my bed. And in the morning, I have written an idea in the dark, and it looks like a Martian came to visit me. And it's a bunch of dashes and lines and this big, heavy mark where the real idea was, right? So it's 4:30 in the morning, and I have an idea. It's a big idea, a monster idea. I'm like, a monster idea, that's really cool. And my idea is a bulletin board system, a BBS. This is in 1993, before the World Wide Web. And I'm like, the monster idea, bulletin board, the monster board. I'm like, the monster board. Okay, I think it's a good idea. So in the dark, I write down the monster board. And then I'm lying there, 4:30 in the morning, thinking, I don't actually think I'm going to be able to remember this idea. And I better do something about it. So I got up and I went to a coffee shop. And in 5 hours, I wrote the interface for Monster that we still use today. Thank you very much for having me out.
Thank you.